Today we're going to be taking a look at the best tow bar braking systems for your 2018 Chevrolet Sonic. Whenever we're flat towing our Sonic, a braking system is going to be a crucial component. We want to be able to have our car slow itself down rather than have our motorhome doing all the braking work. When picking out a braking system for your Sonic, there's going to be three major things to think about. What kind of brakes are in your RV, either air or hydraulic brakes, as well as how comfortable you feel putting each component on your car. And also, how long are you going to be keeping your Sonic? So we'll take a look at some of the top braking systems and go over some of the features so you can find out which one's best for you. So the first two braking systems we're going to be talking about are going to be used for motorhomes that have air brakes. First one over here is going to be the Air Force One, and then over here we have the Brakemaster. Now both of these systems are going to be a proportional braking system. And what that means is how hard you apply the brakes in your motorhome, the same intensity and time is going to be applied to your Sonic. If you have a motorhome that has air brakes, the big benefit to one of these systems is that it is going to tap into our air brakes on our motorhome, so it's going to be that direct connection to where when we apply the brakes on our motorhome, it's going to apply them directly to the car at the same time and intensity. Let's take a closer look at some of the differences between the two. With our Air Force One, it's going to be a permanent installation. So we're not going to have to change anything, make any kind of adjustments or anything like that once it's in. Now with the Brakemaster, there is going to be parts of it that are going to be permanently installed. However, the actuator that's actually going to be applying the brakes on our car, we are going to have to put this in each time we get ready to tow. The Air Force One is also going to use an actuator that's going to apply the brakes in our Sonic. However, you can see it's much smaller, so it is going to stay permanently on the car and be tucked out of the way. As far as installation goes, our Brakemaster is going to be slightly easier to install, purely because we're going to have less components and a few less connections than our Air Force One. The Air Force One is going to have a bigger box that's going to control everything, as well as a tank and valve assembly that we are going to have to mount on the motorhome. So to sum everything up, if you have air brakes, both of these are going to be a great option because they're going to give us that truly proportional braking system and have that direct connection into our motorhome's brakes. Our Air Force One is going to be nice because it's going to be that one-time installation with no extra setup or anything else to adjust once it's in. Just keep in mind that our Sonic is a small car and underneath the dash there's not a lot of room. And our actuator is going to need to mount directly on the brake pedal arm, so there is very limited space down there. However, with our Brakemaster, our actuator on the back here is going to mount towards the seat on a bracket, whereas the claw here is going to clamp around the brake pedal itself, so we're not going to have to worry about those space limitations. For those of you who don't have air brakes on your motorhome, or if you just don't want to tap into your air brakes, these next two are going to be a good option. Over here, we're going to have the Stay and Play Duo, and then next to it, we're going to have the InvisiBrake. Both of these systems are more electrical based rather than the pressure from our air brakes. Our Stay and Play is going to be a proportional braking system, so it is going to give us that nice smooth braking action. The way that's going to work is it's going to get the signal from our motorhome's brake lights coming on, as well as a sensor that's going to pick up on the deceleration of our vehicle. And with that, we're not going to have to worry about any kind of false braking because it's going to have both those signals to apply the brakes. As far as installation goes, our InvisiBrake control box here is going to need to be mounted on the inside of our Sonic. Also being able to adjust the pressure and read the gauge, so after it's installed we can make any adjustments as necessary. With our Stay and Play, we can mount the main unit here just about anywhere we see fit, including underneath the hood. The G-Force controller we are going to need to mount on the inside of the vehicle where we can still have access to the adjustment knob as well as the switch, and make sure it's in the direction of travel so that sensor works properly. Another big difference between our two kits is going to be the actuator. With our Stay and Play, it's going to have an actuator very similar to the Air Force One, but it's going to mount onto the brake pedal arm itself and use air to apply the brakes. However, with our InvisiBrake, it's still going to use that air cylinder to actuate the brake pedal. But you'll notice it is much larger and there is a cable attached to it. And that's because we're going to remotely mount the cylinder wherever we can, and all that's going to be attached to the brake pedal arm is going to be this small piece right here with a bracket. So it does make mounting this a lot easier since we have limited space, but we are going to have to route the cable so that we can get access to it to finish up all the connections. As far as the installation goes, one thing I do want to mention, with both the stay and play and the InvisiBrake, you will need to have existing tow bar wiring on your Sonic. The magnetic lights are not going to work with either one of these systems. So to sum it up, both of our kits are going to be a permanent installation, with the exception of a few minor adjustments after the initial setup for the intensity of our brakes. With our InvisiBrake, we are going to gain a little bit with the installation because we're not going to have to worry about those space limitations, because we are going to remotely mount the actuator. However, in our experiences, mounting the pulley and getting the angle right on the cable can be a challenge sometimes. And with our stay and play, we are going to have to deal with the space limitations because of the permanently mounted actuator on the brake arm itself, but the connections are mainly going to be electrical, so it's just a lot of butt connectors and wiring to do. So for all the braking systems they've gone over are permanent installs, and they're going to be a great solution if you plan on keeping your Sonic for a long time. However, if you plan on trading it in, or if you have several vehicles that you tow behind your motorhome, a portable braking system is a good option as well. A portable braking system is going to be just that. It's going to be a portable unit that we're going to be able to take in and out of our vehicle and not have to worry about tampering with any wiring, vacuum systems, or doing anything to our motorhome itself. All of our portable braking systems are going to work relatively the same. We're still going to have that actuator that's going to be inside the box, as well as having this clamp that's going to go around the brake pedal itself. That actuator is going to push on that brake pedal, and that's what's going to slow our car down. Now in this particular one, the Blue Ox Patriot, we are going to have a monitor that we can have in our motorhome so we can see exactly what's going on and adjust the settings of how intense our brakes are going to be applied. Now our portable braking systems are going to be nice because we're not going to have to do anything to our towed vehicle or our motorhome. However, keep in mind that every time we tow, we are going to have to put it in the car and set it up. Also, another thing that we will need to have is a 12-volt power source even while the car is in tow mode. We hope this information has helped you decide which braking system is going to be right for you.